Thank you, Sierra. You know, it is great to be back home in Jefferson County, especially on a day as historic and as important as this. To the members of the school board, distinguished faculty and staff, honored guests, County Executive Waller, Representative Gannon, others that are with us tonight, families and students. There has got to be something really, really exciting about being the first class to graduate from a brand new high school. No one else has gone through this before, to receive a diploma from this school. It's exciting, but it's also a bit of responsibility. You students have set out the Blue Jay tradition because it had been a blank slate. Your parents and your grandparents didn't graduate from here. It's not even a school where your older brother or sister would have graduated. The blueprint for tradition and excellence at Jefferson High School has been laid out by the people who will receive their diploma tonight. It is always important to mark these moments of excellence. Among this graduating class are 39 seniors who met the requirements for our A+ scholarships, 17 who met the requirements for college prep certificates, 5 Bright Fight scholarship winners, 6 students in your class graduated with a perfect 4.0 GPA. And collectively, this class, your average ACT score is more than 2 points higher than the state average. The first class you have set the bar very high for classes to come. We also have folks tonight, we have a member of your class is already a soldier in our United States Army. All of these, thank you for your willingness to serve our country. So before I make my very short remarks, I want to be the first to say officially, congratulations to the class of 2013. All your hard work and long hours have paid off and brought you to this point, where you stand not just completing something, but much more importantly than that, armed with an additional tools for your new journey. Graduates, it's also important to extend the congratulations to all the parents, grandparents, families, and friends, those whose love, support, and sacrifice were essential in helping you get here today. Your diplomas represent a fulfillment of their dreams and their efforts as well as your own. No one is alone. This ceremony marks the completion of one important phase of your education, but the beginning of another. It is a celebration of everything you have achieved since the first day you set in school here, but you leave Jefferson High School with more facts and figures packed in your heads than you may have thought possible about subjects as diverse as computer science and counseling, poetry and political science, geology and jazz. Your education here has expanded not only the boundaries of what you know, but also, much more importantly, your capacity for learning. That capacity is infinite in all directions and continues throughout your lifetime. Never stop learning. Your education also includes lessons of the heart and the spirit about the value of friendship, teamwork, service to others, and leadership. Years from now, it won't matter how many people liked you on Facebook or how many people followed you on Twitter. What will matter is the time you spent here with good friends, with coaches who challenged you to aim higher and teachers who taught you to dream bigger. It may have been a victory on the football field or an A on a project you poured yourself into or a setback you had to overcome. But the lessons you have learned here are priceless. And the great thing about life is that you each of you, get to decide how to apply them. They're given you the bricks, but only you can build the cathedral. Your attitude and optimism are vitally important to succeed at that. There's an old story about a fellow walking up on 3 folks working on a wall, putting bricks there in a line. And they go up to the first guy and they say, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Well, I am taking a brick and putting it on the ground and putting concrete on it." He said, "Fine." They went to the second guy working at the same job right down the line from him. And they said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm building a wall. I'm part of a team that's building a wall." And they went to the third guy doing exactly the same thing. They said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I am building a foundation for a great building for the future." The point of that story is that when you are even doing the same thing as each of you have done to graduate, meet those requirements, the attitude you bring to that, the challenge you bring to that, the opportunity to build something great rather than just doing the work is vitally important. And as we move through the second decade of the 21st century, the future that you, the class of 2013, will create will be defined not only by how well we can compete in a global economy, but how well we can collaborate to accomplish shared goals and tackle shared problems. You are not alone. Your responsibility is not merely for you. Without a doubt, the nations of the world are more interdependent today than at any time in human history. And that has resulted in unprecedented challenges, where a problem in Greece can cause the stock market to drop here, where a tsunami in Japan can cause auto sales to stop, but also unprecedented opportunities. When I grew up over in DeSoto, graduated from there in 1974, at the time I competed with kids that are in my class. Maybe on the weekends we go to Herky or Festus and play sports or debate or whatever with them. And then I went off to Mizzou. And then when I came home to practice law, all of that was a competition in a very small world, an economy that was local, a competition that was in essence very small. That is why I can stand here and unequivocally say that the education that you have received is far better than the one I received. And when you come back for the 20th anniversary, the education that class receives must be better too. Because the world is a lot more challenging place. You can't get by alone. But when you graduate, you're going to be competing with workers and innovators from around the globe. So when your mom and dad tell you that school was harder when they grew up and it was tougher and they had to walk like 3 miles to school and do all this work, you know something? They aren't right. It's tougher for you, okay? Everything you do is watched. Everything you do is measured. Everybody knows where you are all the time. The tests you take are harder. The classes are more expansive. You can hold the entire library of the world in your hand in a device. But with that greater challenge comes also a greater opportunity. The new global economy presents you with new challenges, but I am confident that you will meet them. Education, especially higher education, is the key to competing and winning in this new global economy. So my message to you all tonight is have fun when you come across here, shake our hands, but you're not done. This is just the marking of one phase. Education is a lifetime. And the future belongs to the educated, those willing to challenge themselves, to go on to school. That's why these ACT tests are so important. That's why folks go on a 2-year and 4-year. And people always ready to lead. That's one of the reasons we've worked very hard. I've worked very hard as your governor over the last 5 years to make sure that a college degree is an affordable option for all Missouri students. That's why this school in its first year is already A+. That's why this school this year has almost $700,000 worth of scholarships represented by the kids sitting right here. Okay? Missouri has led the nation over the last 5 years, the smallest increase in tuition of our higher education system in the country. We've expanded our A+ by 266 schools. We're getting higher test scores. We're having more kids graduate high school, more folks graduate from college, more folks going back to college. To win the future, the best economic development tool we have is education. So I ask you all, as recipients of the first step of an outstanding education, to be role models for the rest of your life, for this school, for this state, for this country, and not be afraid to lead. The world is filled these days with very timid people who spend a lot of their time doing what is the easiest thing to do in public discourse, which is to say what is wrong with someone else's opinion or position. That requires no thinking. You can spit out those negative words very easily. The future belongs to leaders who can collaborate, who can bring folks together, and realize that bringing people together and educating is the key. Now, Jefferson High School is an outstanding example of what is possible when a community says, we're going to lead. There's going to be some tough times to get to the finish line. I don't have to explain to anybody here what a bouncy ride it's been for this community, these buildings, for the teachers, for the administrators, for the board, for the 4 years to get you here. But they've taken care of their part. And they have built, you have built, everyone in this room has built, and the thousands of people that live in this district have built an outstanding school district. To think that you are where you are in year one is stunning. Great schools don't exist by accident. None of the accolades and positive happened by luck. People worked in a united, focused way to get it done. The strong network of community and state support helps our local public schools provide the outstanding education Missouri students need and deserve. And none of that would be possible if this cadre of people that chose to have public service, their public service, be to be teachers and workers in our public school system. And I, for one, am not a combatant in the war on public education. My team is on the field. My team gets up every day and goes to schools across this state and across this nation and does everything they can to give you opportunities. And so I ask each of you to respect these teachers, respect these board members, respect these administrators, and thank them for delivering their public service in a competitive fashion. So graduates, you can't repay all this community that's invested in you, but I urge you to try. What you can do is honor this community as the first class here at Jefferson by making a contribution to your community, and each of you feeling an additional responsibility to make a difference in the world. Not just a difference here, but the world. There is no investment that will have a greater impact on the quality of your life and the future of this nation than where you go from here. You've got the tools. You've got the ability. So graduates, take the blueprint of your Jefferson High School education has given you and start your building. Use it to build a solid path to a college degree so you can have a career that you'll love. Use it to build strong families, vibrant communities, and a prosperous state. Use it to build a just and secure nation and a stable, peaceful world. Aim high. The future is in your hands. Make it bright. Congratulations. I'd like to now ask Superintendent Johnson and Principal Ruark to come forward so that I can, as the Governor of the state of Missouri, our proud show-me state, present to you the first diploma ever presented in this district, commemorating the entire inaugural graduating class of Jefferson High School in 2013 and marking this moment in history when this community said, our kids will have a better chance to lead the world. To Jefferson, to you leaders, congratulations.